In the beginning, and I guess because I was so young, I really didn't have any experience, any life experience to draw from, right? None of my songs in the beginning and for quite a few years were based on personal experience. It was very rare that I wrote about something that had actually happened to me or that was very personal to me. Okay, very rare. It was mostly of observations that I made in the environment, stories that I heard, stories that I even made up. Okay, I would just make up stories, love songs especially, because a love song is a love song, right? So I would make up all kinds of stories, all kinds of love songs, brokenhearted, unrequited love, or a lot of love, so much in love, and I draw experiences from my friends, from the environment, from movies, from whatever. Okay. But I'd also sprinkled in that mix was also, of course, personal experience. And but it was rare in the beginning. Lately, when I say lately, at least in the last 10 years or so, I've been writing a lot about personal experience, especially since my daughter was born, and I've written several songs for her and for people around me that I care about and love, and experiences that I've had in life. And it's an amazing feeling to actually put that down on paper and melodically, match the words and write a song and communicate it musically, an experience that you had. It's really special. It's a special way of communicating it, but there is a liability to that. And part of the problem with writing, personal songs that you really care about, is that, for me anyway, I'm really, really picky with the lyrics that I choose, and the melody has to be okay. The melody has to be great, for sure. I have to really love it. But the lyrics are where, things can get really sticky, because it's gotta be right. It's gotta be perfect. I have to communicate exactly what I want to communicate. Like when I'm writing a song for my daughter, I gotta touch on certain things, and it's gotta sound great, and I gotta communicate it in a way that it makes sense. And that's not always easy when you're writing a song and you're fitting. You got a certain number of syllables to work with, and the phrasing of a song is a particular way when you're working out the melodic line, of course. And this is assuming that you write the music and the melodic line first. Some people write the lyrics first. And I've had a couple of students lately that they're in that position where they're writing lyrics first and then fitting a melody on top of that. I gotta be honest with you, in my opinion, that's much harder to do than creating your melodic line and then fitting lyrics into that. Okay, so fitting music into words is a lot trickier. But of course, you gotta truncate and you gotta cut and you gotta edit the words that you wrote to fit the melodic line. Again, you still have to fit it into that melodic line that you wrote, because it's gotta fit melodically. It's gotta rhyme. It's gotta, the whole thing has to flow, and that's part of the whole thing of a song, right? It's gotta flow melodically. It's gotta rhyme. It's gotta, it's gotta make sense, right? So it's tricky. And when it's personal, it's 100 times trickier, okay? Because it's gotta be right. And sometimes, you get stuck. And I've been stuck many times writing personal songs. Not so much when they're not that personal, because you can get away with a lot. I could throw in a phrase that, doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and it won't bother me at all. But when it's a personal song, it bothers me. I can't let it go, okay? But definitely, I write songs about personal experiences, but I'm not only limited to personal experiences. I'm also open to other people's experiences and even make up some experiences. I don't do that much. I used to do it a lot. I don't do it that much anymore, okay? But keep in mind that I think it was Bob Dylan. He almost never wrote a personal song. Almost never wrote anything that was personal to him. He would write about other people's experiences. He would always write from another person's viewpoint. A true storyteller, He would really, but he would gather all that information, whatever happened, whatever that experience was, and just communicate that.